my gosh. It's like this lighting is so bad. Why is it so bad? I think this is better. Now it says I'm live. Like this is so. It's annoying because if you're watching this, because it does video opposite of what I see. So I don't know. Like this is a side on here. So weird. And I have like, maybe because I have it too crooked. It's a process. My hair looks so wild. Hi, Emily. Where have you been? We're going to do like hi, Folly. We're going to do I'm live on here. Ready? On Instagram. How am I? I'm going to talk all about it. It's been a journey. My camera is all having to film all the time really screws with your head. Okay. Is this on hands free? Okay, here we go. Hi, everybody. Oh, I'm live on YouTube doing live readings. Come see me. This is February 23rd, 6:30 p.m. PST. See you soon. So I'm posting this. How am I? It was a journey, Emily. As you know, I got COVID. I don't know if you know. I think you knew. You saw. Are you on my Patreon? I can't. You used to be, I think. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Excuse me. I'm getting it together. But I had COVID. I got over it pretty, like I got it in 6 days. I felt pretty good. By the way, I'm doing readings. Why is this lighting making me look so washed out? Like, ooh. Is this better or worse? And then oh my gosh, I ended up in a ambulance and got rushed to the doctor. Yeah, I did know, and I'm still on Patreon. Okay, that's what I thought. And I felt like I couldn't breathe. Yeah, I ended up in an ambulance. Oh, God. You guys. I talk about it on my podcast. So if you haven't listened to my podcast episodes, I have been filling everyone in on what happened. And I did this. You guys are helping. I'm getting ready I'm getting myself together. And I literally felt like I couldn't breathe. Okay. And they were like, we don't see anything in your lungs. There's nothing in your lungs. Because when I got COVID, I didn't really have a cough, or I didn't have a fever. And just to remind everybody, I'm going to be reading on here for an hour, and every 15 minutes, I'll let you know when the list is coming to a close, because I am doing a list to get my stuff. So COVID, I had it. It's my first time getting COVID. Never had it. And I didn't get a cough. I didn't get a fever. I got over it kind of like in 6 days, pretty much. I did lose my taste. I did lose my stomach was the mostly what was the problem. Like, I had really horrible stomach issues. Um, and and I still haven't really had the same appetite ever since. And I lost my taste and everything, but I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I ended up in an ambulance and went to ER. This ER was terrible. So they were like, they did all the tests. They're like, we don't see anything. By the way, this is my tea to calm me. This is my lavender tea. It's very calming. So hi Dela, first time here. Hi Serena. Welcome. And then I went to ER. They were like, "Oh, there's nothing we can find." They did all the tests. Thank you. Um okay, yes. So I am doing readings for an hour and the list is open and I'll let you know every 15 minutes. For people who are new, you just go to and I'm doing makeup and hair while I'm talking to you, which I've never done. I don't do a get ready with me thing. Oh wait, I don't have the stuff I need, but that's fine. So so they were like, okay, there's nothing wrong with you, except for they did give me like they had to give me like strong antibiotics and they had to give something to take away the nausea because I did have really bad nausea. I woke up in like severe pain in my stomach. Anyway, and so I had to get IV and all this kind of stuff. So that happened. And then the next night, I still feel like I couldn't breathe. And so I went to, hi, Emerly, I got you. So I went back to ER. So there's two ERs near me. One of them isn't, oh yeah, COVID sucks and it affects the nervous system, I've heard. Um, yes. What do you mean by that? Because mine was mostly stomach. I've only had this once, and I mean, this is my first time. Mine was mostly stomach. I didn't have a fever, I didn't have a cough, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. And um, they gave me stuff for my stomach and all of this, and then strong medicine, and then they sent me home. Is it just me, or is this light just awful? There, it's a little better. I needed a better ring light. And so then the next day, this particular ER is not really great, to be honest. They kind of turn over beds very quickly. And so they kept saying, nothing's wrong with you. You're fine. Nothing's wrong. So I went back the next day. And this time I had to sit in there. And I have the whole story in my podcast. So I don't know if I want to go over the same old story. But the bottom line is the doctor didn't believe me, or he kind of treated me, he just kind of treated me very condescending. The loss of sense and smell and from inflammation and neural. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The sense of smell and taste didn't really scare me, to be honest. But mine didn't come back in 2 weeks. Like I think I have my taste about maybe 75%. I just never like my appetite has definitely changed. I just don't have, but I'm okay. But anyway, so when I went back to ER, he was he was like, there's nothing wrong with you. My lungs are clear, my heart was fine, but I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was panting, like I couldn't breathe. So they did a breathing treatment. The word kind of got around that I was being annoyed because I asked somebody, why is this doctor acting like an asshole? Because he came in and said, you're fine. Everything's fine. I said, I can't breathe. And he said, you're talking. So anyway, The bottom line is that my mother, after I was born, she died of an embolism in her lungs, and that was something they were testing me for. So, of course, I was panicked. Um, so the next, yeah, that's a bad doctor, right? So he was just, and then when they gave me the breathing treatment, they just left me there. I never get tired of hearing this. Okay, Angie, but you don't know the update. You don't know the update, Angie. I got you, Sabrina. There's an update, which I don't think I've told. Maybe? Yeah, so they kind of left me anyway. When I went to, they left me after the breathing treatment. Nobody came and checked on me. They were like, whatever. But this lady who was cleaning the floors just started talking to me. And I was talking to my family and I was in the other side and I was saying, please, like, let me know what's going on. What should I be doing? Am I okay? And she just kind of started talking about her life, and then she started saying stuff to me about, you have to have a strong mind. She worked like crazy, like she worked double shifts and hardly got days off, and I don't know, she was just kind of insane, and I was like, why do you do it? Why? And she's like, it's for a better life and you have to have a strong mind, and she says you got to be nice to people so they want to help you, whatever. I ended up when the doctor came back, I ended up apologizing and saying, "Listen, my mother died of an embolism, of a blood clot exploded in her lungs. Excuse me if I'm panicked, whatever." And he was pretty cool about it, but he didn't have the best bedside manner. But this particular ER, everybody who lives in this area says everyone knows it's not the good ER. They're really fast and furious, and they are very abrasive. Okay, so flash forward to, like, I I did the breathing treatment. I finished my, like 5 days went by, finished my antibiotics, and I started panicking again and couldn't breathe. I started breathing like I couldn't breathe, and I went to ER, to a different ER that I knew I could make it. I said I can make it to this one. And I know this one is very different, and the doctor was amazing. They were amazing. It felt like the first ER is like a MASH center, you know what a MASH center is? Like a MASH unit, like in the middle of a war zone. Like that's the energy it has, like, hurry up, get him in, get him out. And this one felt like a real, like, like being like a hospital. And they were when I said, listen, I've had this, and they were like, yeah, sure. And they understood. I didn't expect for them to give me a bed, and they did. And the doctor, and here's where it gets to the psychic stuff. The doctor was listening to me, and he said, okay, they're the other hospital won't share your information, so we're going to have to do all the tests again. But they were very kind. I didn't have to leave the bed. I mean, everybody was very lovely. It wasn't even that crowded. Bottom line is the doctor was super calm, and he did all the tests, and at the end, and they didn't rush me. They were like taking their time. I was like, I can't breathe. But when I would sit up, I could breathe. Like I'd sit up, and all of a sudden my breathing started getting better. And they're like, good thing is he came back and said, I have good news, I have bad news. The good news is your lungs are clear, your heart. They did a EKG, they did a sonogram of my heart, they did a CAT scan, they did X-ray. They're like, everything is clear. You are fine. And he said, "Do you think it could be anxiety?" I have never had an anxiety attack in my life, but illness, because so many people in my family have died. My mother, my real mother died 10 days after I was born, just couldn't breathe, right? Dropped dead. My aunt who raised me, one day doesn't feel good, goes to the doctor. She has leukemia, goes into the hospital. She dies by the time I'm 17. I mean, she's dying. And my uncle died 10 years later. He had a chronic illness. So I had, I guess, anxiety about it. So he was very kind. And I said to him, and I said this to every doctor, by the way. I said, my read on you is what I said this to the EMT too. My read on you is you don't think I should go to the hospital. This doctor, I said, my read on you is you think I have anxiety. And he goes, what do you mean your read on me? I said, oh, well, that's what I do. I read people. And um, he says, oh, what do you see? So he starts talking to I said, "Oh, well, this is what I see about you, blah, blah." First of all, he said, "I think it's anxiety and we're going to give you some anxiety meds. Let's just see what it does." And he was super kind. He said, "I'm not one to dismiss things just and say, 'Oh, it's anxiety. Don't just ignore everything.'" He says, "I'm not going to say that to you, but we could try it and then rule it out and see if it's really, you know, maybe it's just anxiety and if it doesn't work, it's not." He was very kind and compassionate. And I said, okay. And so they, stick it in my IV. And of course, I'm like, loopy doo, loopy doo. When I get loopy doo, you better like get ready. I'm going to start reading everybody in the room. So he starts going, what do you mean you read on me? And I start reading him and I start telling about what I do. And he says, oh, my sister's into tarot cards. And he says, I don't know if I believe in this, but there's something to it. And we're getting to this whole conversation. And by the end, I'm like this. I was the whole time. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I I said to him, he goes, well, you're distracted and you have the meds. He said, does it come and go? And I said, yes. And he said, well, when you have a condition, it doesn't come and go. It just keeps staying there. And I went, oh. Because I can feel even talking about it, I get this little panicky feeling. And I was like, is this what people mean by anxiety? I've never had this type of thing. And he said, yeah. And he goes, so let's just give you some medicine to take home and just to help you. And if anything else happens. And so I talked to him about all the spiritual stuff. He was very cool because I said, well, I help other people and I don't that doesn't bother me. And he said, yeah, but healers have to heal themselves. He said, we, like I'm a healer like him. And he just was very cool about it. And I said, well, before he left, I said, you're on the right path, but I don't know if this is your area, like the ER. And he said, yeah, I feel you're right. That's what I've been feeling. And he walks away after he resolved the issue. And here we are. So that was my journey, everyone. It goes to show you a kind, compassionate person, and you can't get jaded no matter what you do. When you get jaded, no matter what you do, it's kind of lame. So that's it. I have on my list Emerly and Sabrina. If you guys have any questions, what do you guys think about that? Are you listening while you're cleaning your house? I'm going to drink my lavender tea because the one thing I came out of this is saying so many people have so many real ailments and problems and how scary it is. I love The Last Doctor. Of course, just tuning in. Hello, Eric. I hear you have a story you're supposed to send me for my podcast. So it got me on a journey of realizing these guys have asked me, do you want to learn about physical healing? And I said, no, of course not. 15 years ago. And now I've been learning it. I've been posting some things on my Patreon. I did a class. I'll do little videos. I'll do mentorships. I finally laid down, and when I started reading and learning how to read, I learned everything from that other realm, and they showed me everything, and I'm doing the same thing with healing stuff, physical healing, because it really came clear to me how scary and horrible this is for people. Medical field is hard and stressful. It is. It is hard and stressful. I don't think that it was the individual people, though, at the first place. You can tell when the fish stinks from the top. It felt like this is how they're taught to run the place versus the second place, because everybody had a different energy. I can tell. I mean, this is me. I can read the energy. And the first one is just like, let's just get them in, get them out. And the second one felt like we're here to assess and see what we can do. And it just felt very different energy wise. And I've been to the second one. I've been to both before, so it's consistently true. Panic attacks. It wasn't a panic attack. I didn't have a panic attack because my heart wasn't elevated. My heart wasn't beating out of my chest. Nothing. Like my heart rate was the same. There was nothing going on with my heart. I didn't feel like my heart was beating out of my chest. I just felt like I couldn't breathe. It was more of anxious. That's what he said. More anxious, like an anxiety, more anxiety attack. Um, which I never had. But there are some, factors. Like I said, my therapist said it can come in different ways. Yeah, it didn't feel like I don't know how to explain it. I know people have had panic attacks. It felt like, yeah, probably like fear took over for sure. Um, because I have a lot around that and illness. But I've never really had this. I've had to face a lot of horrible, horrible things in my life. And I faced my parents' death. I've had all kinds of things I've gone through, and I've never felt this way before. But I think since I didn't get COVID for 5 years, it was like this big buildup and maybe anxiousness around it. But I'm dealing with it much better. I've been doing these meditations. Um, there's things I'm doing to help me through it. I think even talking about it is getting me like, ugh, I don't want to talk about it. I'd rather talk about you guys. But I feel like I don't like illness, and there's an understandable. I have trauma around it. I have real trauma. I was 28 and I lost three parents. Two of them I watched die. One of them I just heard about dying my whole life. So there's a reason to have trauma. Regardless, it's great that you are better now and happy to see you live. Thank you. What can I do for you, Emerly? But I really felt like it showed a difference of how little things people can do in life. To the lady who was mopping and talked to me, to the doctor, you can make a difference in people's lives. You have no idea how the little thing you can do can change direction and change people's perspective and help them through. So Emily, I'm doing a reading for, and that's Sabrina. And this is a 15-minute call. The donations are in the description below. There's different links to PayPal and Venmo and all of that jazz. And that's where you would go for that. Oh, I forgot something. Okay. I took my dog to the groomers a week ago, and ever since then, he has been acting different, not as playful or jumping, running as had. He had a pain. I want to understand what happened or what it is. Okay, so he had a pain. He had something painful, and you didn't know what it is. Is that what you're saying? Okay, let me take a look at him. See what's going on. As if he is in pain. Oh, okay. Mm, like they heard him? They better not have. They're gonna hear from all of us. Okay. Let me see. Let me take a look at your puppy. Um, have you checked his hind leg on the left? Um, well, if you're standing in front of him, it would be the right, but behind him would be so his left. There, one of his paws in between. It's not fingers. What is it called? These in between here. Like, what is that called? I got you, Joaquin. Do you, anyway, it looks like there is something kind of bothering him. Toes? Are there toes on dogs? Okay, thank you, everyone. Um, in between his toes on the left side, it looks like something just kind of nicked him the wrong way. It's almost like a little, um, okay, got you, Folly. It's almost like a little irritant or a little cut. I feel like when I see him, it's not severe pain, but it's almost like, if you get like a paper cut or something, that's what it reminds me of. Have you noticed anything on that side by any chance? Yes, no, maybe? Anyway, that's what I'm seeing. The chat might be slow, but I didn't when I look at no, I haven't. I will check right now. Okay. I haven't really when I look at him, there's nothing in any other area. Is he like a tan color? Make sure I'm looking at the right doggy. And when I see him, it just looks like, when you just kind of have a slight irritant, that's what I'm seeing. He doesn't look like he's as miserable as you think. It's more like irritating. So just like I said, like a paper cut. He doesn't jump and run. He seems so down. Okay. He seems so down. Yeah, I feel like something's irritating. I see this on the left side. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with him. I don't think he liked it there. I wouldn't take him there again. When I do see them, they were kind of rough. They were not careful with him. Maybe you've taken them there before and they've been good, but you know how things change, people change. Kind of like the ER. I don't know. When I hear him, which is me hearing animals, I hear him like not liking this place. So I feel like they were a little bit rough, more than he's used to, and they weren't really careful with him. So I just feel like he's mad at you and not happy about that place. So I would probably not take him back there. Does that make sense? But I don't feel like I don't see anything wrong. What did let's move on to Sabrina. Go ahead and throw in, your reading, what you need from me. While Emily, just because the chat takes so long to get, going. What did they say to you? Like, what was their, like, "Oh, he blah, blah, blah." If they said anything like, "He was a little bit anxious," or, "He was a little bit difficult," or something like this, can you think about what they said about him when you picked him up? And Sabrina, go ahead and throw in and just letting everybody know you have 15 more minutes to get on the list before it closes. I just got my heart broken. I'm trying to get guidance. Okay, so did someone broke up with you? It sounds like. What do you want to know? Do you want me to see what their perspective is? Like what perspective they're coming from? Um, okay. So what I do in this type of reading is I'll see they just reminded me that he had a scar on the side of his back, which they already knew he was adopted. Possible he doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, I'll look. I have to look and see if you're trying to understand why he broke up with you, then I need to look and see what's going on with him. You see what I mean? And his perspective. Well, you don't have to know what to ask. It sounds like you want to understand why he did what he did. So I'll look and see that for you. You know what I mean? Because there may be some things he's not being truthful about. Well, that's what I'm going to look and see if you need to even try again because he may not want you to try again. Do you see what I'm saying? So let me take a look. All right. So that's what I'm doing going to do in the reading. So this is kind of like was my first hit, Sabrina, and Joaquin, just be prepared to be next to give your, what you want, but I'm going to be reading um Sabrina. This was my first hit, Sabrina. Unfortunately, I just saw him kind of feeling like you were maybe needing a little bit too much from him. Thank you so much, Adela. Well, let me know if you discover anything, Emily. And I feel like when I see it from his perspective, he felt like you were wanting too much from him, almost like he felt overwhelmed and um like you wanting like a full-blown relationship. Obviously, you guys were in a relationship, but I feel like he felt it was too, like, you I'm trying to say this nicely, but he felt like you were too needy. And he's really doesn't want to be in a relationship. He's okay with being in a friendship and he's okay with um like there's nothing negative he feels towards you, but he doesn't really want to be in a romantic relationship. So my feeling is if you reapproach him and you try to connect with him, you're probably going to get more hurt because he's going to get even more like, I thought you kind of understood. You know what I mean? So I feel like when I see him, he's just like, yeah, she wants all this stuff from me and I don't really want to I don't want to be involved in a relationship like this. So needless to say, he's pushed you away, which is what I'm feeling that you went through. Um it's not that he's not ready for you. He's telling you nicely he doesn't want to be in a relationship, period. So I feel like you're not hearing that. I feel like you're taking it like, oh, he'll be, you got to be careful because if you're like, oh, he's not ready for me, He doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. That's what I'm trying to say. And he doesn't want to be in a relationship, yeah, with you. Doesn't mean he may not get in a relationship with someone. I can see that, but it, you're you're a little too, it's just not what he's looking for. So I feel like he tried to be nice. Yeah, I feel like he was trying to be nice because you're a good person and you have a good heart, and he wanted to be kind about it. And this is the problem, and I should do videos on this with men. They don't just say that what they want to say, which they should, because they're too afraid to say it. But what he really wanted to say is that I just don't want to be in a relationship with you. And instead he could go all around the bush and you're confused, like maybe you just don't want to be in a relationship with somebody right now. You know, I got you, Dina. Hold on, I got like two sneezies from allergies. So I would leave it, I would leave it alone altogether. And so just so everyone know, the list is closed. I would just leave it alone altogether. Thanks, Timothy. And I would put your energy into someone who's going to be much more lovely with you. I feel like you had a lot of heart to give and a lot of love to give. And I don't feel like this is like he has anything against you or he doesn't appreciate you. I just feel like he's looking for something else. I'm so sorry, Sabrina. But it's better to like not waste your time and your energy on somebody who's not wanting what you have to give. And you know what? He's not, it's not negative. It's just you guys want different things. You know? You can't really help that. You either have that with somebody or you kind of don't. So I think he did what a lot of people do, which is, oh, well, let me just let her down easy and hopefully she'll understand and not take it so bad. But it still hurt you, obviously, because breakups hurt and there's no avoiding that. Breakups suck. Okay, Joaquin, are you there? So the list is closed, everybody. After my hiatus for a while, I just came on here. Okay, what can I do you for? Um Drinking lavender tea to calm. Then I'm going to do a meditation after this. After I spent months applying for jobs and finally things are moving. Okay. We're off to a good start. I hear a question coming. I hope it's like, which job should I take is the next question. Is this what you want to know? I'm prepping for an interview for a job that'll be great learning experience, but I'm not excited about it. Oh, okay. Well, what's your question? What do you want me to tell you? Should you take it anyway? How will it benefit you? Kind of feel that's what you're asking. What kind of work is it, by the way? If you can like fill me in. And my heart is still on a job that I haven't heard back from. Yes, exactly. Okay. Fashion design. Ooh. Okay. All right, let me take a look. And in the meantime, Dina, get yours ready because you will be my last reading. Okay, let's take a look, Folly, aka Joaquin. Hold on. Let me look at the first job. So the first job, what I like about it is it's very consistent. Um, the work is kind of like same time, same thing, same day, like meaning like it's kind of, I wouldn't say monotonous, but it is not too many surprises. Let's put it that way. Like you know what you'll be doing each day. It kind of runs in that vein. Does that make sense? Um, the second one, when I look at it, is that it looks very, very, so many applicants. That's the best way I could say it. Like I just saw like flooded with people. And I kind of feel they'll see you as not experienced enough is the problem. Like, I feel like when I see them, the second one, their problem with you is that you don't have enough behind you for that position. So I feel this, my first instinct, and this is what I was going to go with in the beginning, is that even though you don't aren't excited about it, this is a very good way to get your foot in the door. Which job you're referring to? The first, the one you have an interview for that you're not excited about. The second one is the one that you're hoping to hear from. So job number 1 is the one that you have an interview for, but you're not excited about. That one I see not having, not having all the bells and whistles, or maybe like as challenging, but there's a lot, just because it may not seem challenging, there's a lot you're going to learn, and there's a lot you're going to kind of outgrow, and by the time you outgrow it, you'll be able to apply for this type of job you want, and you'll have a much, much greater chance. What I like about it, and in this world and in the climate that we are in right now, is that it's consistent and financially stable. Does that make any sense to you by any chance? I hope. So I'm encouraging you to go through the interview. There were the positive that those were the positives that motivate me to keep prepping. Yeah, I it's a very big positive because honestly, this isn't the time to dismiss security and dismiss the stability that this job's going to bring you. And also, not to mention, unwavering experience. Okay, does that help, Folly? AKA Joaquin. Okay, everyone. Dina, go ahead and throw up. You're my last reading. Wanted to just let everyone know. Yeah, I've been like really trying to post things that can help everybody on my Patreon, because especially any insight of what I can do to prep. Um, uh, these are just really quick, short readings, Folly. All I can say is that whatever you're doing, it's fine. I mean, whatever you're doing, you're on the right track. That would get into a lot more detail. I don't like to read half baked. So, these are just quick little fast readings that I do on here. If you wanted more extensive guidance, and that would be a longer reading, you could always book for that. But I don't feel like you need to worry too much. Um, I didn't get a feeling you're not prepping. I got a feeling is you're maybe poo-pooing it because it's not that exciting. I think that was the problem. That was the main problem. And you gotta get on board with it. So, okay. And you gotta make sure lastly that they don't feel from you that you're kind of like, because that's not gonna read well. They'll pick up on it. Make sure of that. Okay, Dina, have we read your grandma on your mom's side before? Or is this the first time we've done this? Yes. Okay, you got it, Folly, because no, okay. So don't be, bringing in your like, well, you guys are my second pick, so whatever. Don't bring in that energy. You know what I mean? Okay, let's go ahead, Dina. Your grandmother on your mom's side. Okay, here we go. So the first thing I hear is that she's so excited. She says it's been a long time. She says her passing was very welcomed. She really didn't want to have to do any more time here in this world. She said, she was very I I hear the word like run down, meaning like her physical self had had enough. So she wants to make it very clear. Yes, I was 12 years old. Okay, cool. She wants to make it clear that she was more than ready, very much welcomed it because her body had gone through a bit. So even if let's say even if she was young at the time to have passed, for her, she had gone through health conditions. So she's there's like a lot of graciousness and gratefulness for the time she did have here because of how wearing it was on her, if that makes sense. Um, she says that things just kind of took a turn, and that, is what brought her where she is now. She does kind of say that, she's a little bit irritated that people don't understand that she went through a lot. Like, she went through a lot, and she like the feeling she's giving me, and I kind of feel like maybe I picked up on it before this reading because she's saying like she did a lot for her family, which she appreciated. She had ovarian cancer, okay. Which she's glad that she could do, but she oftentimes felt very underappreciated, but she says most women are. So her message to you today, Dina, is to make sure that you don't feel like you have to do so much for everyone and everything all the time. Because, she has a very strong message. And this is for all the ladies listening, that the women of her time just kind of put up and shut up. And we weren't really allowed to complain or state our wants and needs. And she says, make sure you don't follow suit. She really believes a lot of women in her time, and she says maybe men for that matter as well, got sick with diseases that because they internalized their pain. So this is her message to you, Dina. Make sure that you take care of your psychological self. She said that wasn't even something she could have even spoken of when she was alive. She didn't really have awareness of this. Taking care of your psychological self, taking care of your emotions, taking care of you. Um, this is for all any women listening. She was she like a stay-at-home mom, do you know? Because she keeps showing me all the work she did for everyone else. And she didn't feel like she felt like she took care of me and my sister when my mom couldn't. Okay. It's not so much she's saying that you didn't appreciate it. It's maybe she feels your mom didn't appreciate it. I don't know, or her husband or something, but she just feels like women tend to get overlooked and they let their health care go down the drain because women don't take care of themselves. That's what it is. And I was hearing that today. Sometimes even when I try to block everybody out, they pop in. And I was hearing something like, women are terrible at taking care of themselves. That we kind of put ourselves last on the list, and especially at her time. So this is her message to you today. Was she married to your grandfather still when she passed? So does everybody did everybody get that message? Did all the ladies get that message? And did all the gentlemen get the message of how much the ladies do? We are expected to do quite a bit. I often wonder what things would have been like if she had been here longer. Heard. Thank you, Timothy. She was married to my grandfather till she passed away. Yeah. Well, she's just saying that she felt like she did more for him, and it was a marriage, but it wasn't romantic, but she doesn't want to get into all that in the public eye. But she's saying that basically um it was better for her to have gotten. So don't wonder if what if life would have been like. Because where she is, she's gotten a lot of help. She said, I couldn't really do any much more than I could have. Even though you were young, she said she still felt very washed up. Do better. Do better. Do better. He traveled a lot. See? She says, all the ladies, do better for yourself. Make sure you have someone who takes care of you, cares for you, appreciates all that you do. And Dina, take care of yourself. I think this is a good note to end on. Thank you, Grandma. Heard you loud and clear. I'm going to go do this right now. I'm going to go do a meditation. You guys go do some meditation. Go drink some some tea. Ladies, take care of yourselves. Don't feel like you have to do everything. Thank you so much. Connecting with her definitely puts a smile on my face. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I thought she gave us a really good message, not only for Dina, but for us all. We all benefited. I don't know about you, but I did. Um, Talk to your people, everyone, because especially during this time, they are trying to help. If you're on my Patreon, I post some cool stuff today about health and everything, which kind of fits with what Graham was talking about in a way. And I've been doing a lot of mentorships and I've been loving them. So that's been awesome. And I will be posting a new episode. If you didn't catch my last episode, then you should go catch it that I posted. It was a really good episode with Susan about healing across the veil. And this Tuesday is going to be all about fairies and leprechauns. How fitting, right? Leprechauns and fairies and things like that. So it's going to be a fae episode. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Thank everyone for coming. I know, catch up on the podcast. I know it's hard sometimes. And like when you're commuting, right? It's easier. Have a great night. Hey, Timothy. Love to you, Timothy. Oh, Timothy, you be proud. I was a baking queen. I baked a chocolate cheesecake. Oh, I want to ask you, Timothy, something. You know those desserts that look like creamy inside and they kind of have a hard shell? They kind of look like they're very fancy. They have different colors and when you crack the shell, there's, like, cream inside. Is that a French dessert? I wanna start experimenting with other stuff. So, I made my chocolate cheesecake for my son for his birthday so that he could have it for morning breakfast, and then I made some chocolate chips for a friend, chocolate chip cookies. But I wanna get into other things. So, yeah. Um, I'll have to look it up. I know what it looks like when I see it, I just don't know what it's called. So I'll have to research it. Thank you, everyone. Follow yourself, follow no one, listen to your inner voice, and I'll see everybody soon. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for all the support on my crazy journey. Not macaroons, no. No, no, no. I'm gonna look it up.